Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to walk you through how I went about responding to one of the commencement speeches. For instructional purposes, I'm going to walk you through how I responded to David Foster Wallace's 2005 Kenyon University commencement address. Now, this is the final assignment that I'm looking at, and we are looking at the specifications. So this is what I'm expecting to see when you respond to the summary response, and make sure you know what I'm asking you to do here, because I'm not going to read through all of this. Notice what comes next. So this is the speech that I've selected, and I will go to the transcript. Now the transcript is about 10 pages. I am not going to summarize 10 pages. I'm not asking you to do that. I don't want you to do that. That would be tedious. So you need to pay attention to what I'm going to show you, or at least the way I went about summarizing it. You don't have to summarize it the way I do it, but I'm just walking you through my own process to make this easier for you. So what I'm going to do next is to show you how I've responded to this. I'm playing the role of a student now, and my professor is George Washington. Now, for the summary, this is what I have done. You can see that I have here a paragraph, and in this paragraph I have information about his bio, David Foster Wallace's biography. Here I also make use of in-text citation, as you can see here, and I also credited the author of my text where I pulled out the information. So for instance, here is another example of me mentioning the source using auto tags Tracy L. Matthews, who is another writer who edited an article that I read about David Foster Wallace. So this is what I did. I placed that in quotes. Now, after my introduction, my summary, just a bio introduction of David Foster Wallace, the next thing I did was to go straight into this summarizing the speech. I do not think it's important that we need to summarize every single detail. That would be too much work, as I've said. So what I did here was just to reference the name of the college, and I went straight into detail about the speech. And this is where I try to break this down. I try to contextualize the speech. Think of this as a one-sentence summary challenge. So here I said, David discussed the significance and value of having a liberal arts education using several illustrations or didactic little parabolic stories to make his overall points. Students need to be a little less arrogant and exercise a little critical awareness about themselves and their certainties, some of their deeply held beliefs as they step out into the world with their degrees. Wallace recognizes that while some students might not appreciate someone teaching them how to think or giving them moral advice, they can discover that the real value of real education has almost nothing to do with knowledge, but everything to do with simple awareness, which he says is so real and essential, so hidden in plain sight, all around us, and one that lasts a lifetime. So I am referring to the speech, and that's to the best of my ability, and as far as I'm concerned, the main gist of his commencement speech. This is quite I've written a very complicated paragraph here, and also my sentence here is pretty long. I did this because I was trying to showcase another way you can summarize without having to write in let's say 5 pages. That to me I'm not interested in. So the way you come about summarizing it is up to you. Just make sure you capture the commencement speaker's main points. You could do this in a short paragraph as I've done here, or in 2 paragraphs. I would say don't go beyond that. Now here I have a response to the speech. Remember, the speech is about 10 pages, and what I've done is to summarize the speech in 1 paragraph. Now I'm going to respond to the speech. In responding to the speech, notice what I've done here. First, I have a title, and then in the title itself I try to give you an idea of what I'm also going to do, because I think he's using certain rhetorical modes of persuasion, certain rhetorical strategies in trying to convince his audience. Now this is quite detailed response, and you need not copy the way I have done it, but this is just to show you something I did, because what I'm requiring, if you look at my instructions for the assignment, I said this is between 2 to 2.5. Now I've overdone it by giving a response that goes into 1, 2, 3, and 4 pages. Then I have my work cited. You don't have to copy me, but I'm just walking you through my own process, the way I went about it. So here I just started off with just acknowledging the speech and where he gave the speech, and also I was quick to identify one of his strategies, because he gave the speech saying that he wasn't going to give moral advice, and after watching the animated version of the speech, after reading the speech, I took some notes. I actually think he gave moral advice. So my contention here was to say that, well, we can consider this as something pulled out from the Rogerian argument, and I thought that was the strategy he used. So I laid out how one can understand the Rogerian argument, parts of it, and I compared it to certain parts of David Foster Wallace's speech. And that's this table here is to give you a summary of how I think Wallace is thinking about David Foster Wallace's speech. Now, you don't have to do it this way. This is just me. I'm just being too pedantic in analyzing. But I thought I wanted to share how I went about doing this my way. Now, if you have your way of doing things in responding, I have given you a wealth of instructions, a wealth of suggestions on how you can go about doing this. You can see the assignment specifications from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should help you in responding. You've also got the 3 ways to respond handouts, which I posted in week 9. That came from the WCIC textbook. You've got a course textbook from Inquiry to Academic Writing. This can also help you in formulating your thoughts. And the summary and response, like I said, is generally 2.5 pages. It's worth 50 points. You will turn it in once, and it will be graded once. However, on the final draft, you get to revise it. That's after I comment on it. Now, the part 1 is due on the date listed here, so pay attention to what's coming and when you have to turn it in. If you're interested in seeing or reading through my sample, you can reach out to me. I don't want it to confuse you, but I hope in this video you have an idea of one way you can think of a summary and response. This may be too detailed. You don't have to do it my way, but you get a sense of it. Thank you for watching.